Alright, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to separate your gold from your black sand. The cons that we got from the river from the last two trips. I'm going to be doing this at home. We're going to be doing it in the gold pan. I have two here actually. I have a bigger one, the one that I usually pan with, and I have my smallest gold pan which I like to pan in. So we will do that. I like to pan in my small pan when I clean up my cons. Alright, so this cons right here, these cons right here. These are from the last two trips I did, so the last two videos. Both the cons are in here, and then I had some also in a container that were sitting around, so I thought I would just add them all together, clean them all up, and show you guys how this whole process is done. Then you guys will realize why I was like, do you really want me to weigh it after every single episode? You guys will see why. Anyway, so our cons are in here, etc. We have water, important, of course, in your gold pan. Now through this whole video, guys, I'm going to be going through a whole bunch of what to do's, what not to do's. I'm going to be explaining them all the way through. This is going to be helpful even when you're at the creek. So stay tuned throughout this video. You guys might learn a thing or two. If you guys do, make sure you guys let me know. So the first thing you guys want to do after you guys have it set up like I do, grab Jet Dry. Very, very important. I recommend Jet Dry. It doesn't bubble up as much, but if you guys do not have Jet Dry, you guys can use dish soap. But do not put too much dish soap in there, because it will bubble up like crazy if you're using dish soap. This stuff kind of keeps the bubbles down. I added a bunch of this to this water, and I'll explain why. So I got lots and lots and lots of fine gold in here. I mean, I got tons of fine gold, I know I do. So I thought I would add just a little bit more to hopefully break the surface tension so the little gold won't float. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to empty my snuffer bottle into there like that. Make sure I get it all. As you guys can see, I added a lot of soap, and I know I did, but that's okay. As you guys can see, there's lots of gold in there, and there's also a lot of black sand. All right, so at this stage, I'm gonna be showing you guys what not to do here in a second. So as you guys can see, there's gold in there, there's black sand. I'm gonna shake it all down into a lovely corner. A lot of people like to use magnets when it comes to this. Now, I do not recommend a magnet. The reason for that is because, no, the gold is not magnetic. It will not, stick to this, of course, but the black sand will. And when you get that really, really small gold that's in the black sand and you start using a magnet to pull it all up, you will lose some gold in that process. So I'll be showing you guys this right now. So this is kind of overkill. I got a huge magnet, but we're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you this anyways. It will make a lot more sense. So I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to take it out. As you guys can see, there's lots of gold in that black sand. There's lots of gold there sitting on the bottom. But if you flip this around, you guys can see gold. There is gold littered everywhere in there. Hopefully you guys can see that. And that is the reason that I do not recommend using a magnet. Even you guys can shake it out a little bit, but I mean, you guys still see the gold. So yeah, I mean, this magnet is overkill, but it's a good reference to show you guys. All right, so we got the black sand back in there. I have a lot of black sand in here, so if you guys are comfortable, you guys can pan it out. Now, I do not recommend panning in these riffles over here when you're at this stage, because it makes it a lot more difficult. So I don't like panning in those riffles. Maybe if you had a pan with really small riffles, it would make sense, but yeah. So I'm going to shake this down as well as I can in the corner, but I'm also going to start tilting it forward. All right. And we're just going to pan it out like you normally would at the creek or the river. But be very, very gentle You guys will see gold everywhere if there's a lot of blacks or a lot of small. If there's lots of small gold, you guys will see. All right, so just be gentle with it. Take your time. Do not rush it. You know that there's lots of gold in there. You can lose it. So I'm just watching. I'm watching everywhere in my pan, but I'm mostly watching all in here. Hopefully that camera will focus a little bit better. There we go. If you guys think that you see gold, you don't. Reason for that is the cameras always seem to pick up like these yellow rocks, and it makes it kind of look like gold. I see it all the time when I'm watching other videos. I'm like, wait, that looks like gold, but it's really not. I will tell you guys honestly if I lose gold. I almost lost gold right there. Alright, I'm going to work this down just a little bit more. I got too much fines in here. I'm going to stop this process soon. I do not feel comfortable trying to pan this out anymore. But we did get some black sand. So, you guys can do that till you're at a comfortable stage. I'm going to shake this down in the corner like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start backwashing it. Now there's two ways to do this. A lot of people like to swirl it, and I personally hate it, and I'll show you guys why. So people like to go like this. You know what I mean? And then all the gold shows up on the right hand side. Right? Making sense? Alright. But look at this side. There is gold right there. There's probably gold all in here that we washed out. See that? It gets all caught up in that black sand when you're swirling it on this side, and sometimes it sneaks away from you. And I hate going through my concentrates 3 times to get the small stuff. So I'm going to be showing you guys my method. It's just the opposite method of that. So instead of swirling it, make sure you guys only have about 2 times the amount of water in there as you do material. It makes it a lot easier. Too much water, it's hard. Not enough water, it's hard. So I'm going to start tilting this back and forth, but I'm going to do it very, very gently. Get comfortable when you guys do this. It's going to be a long process, but it's fun. Alright, this is my process for cleaning out gold anyways. I really, really enjoy doing it this way. Alright, so what you guys want to do here, as you guys can see, I'm pushing down all that black sand, but at the same time I want to keep a solid line right here. I want to see what's going down that pan, you know what I mean? So I know this is all black sand, so I'm going to push this down. I do see gold right there, but I'm going to continue. Alright, as you guys can see, the gold got there, and I got a piece there, and I got some right here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to use my snuffer bottle, and I'm going to snuff up the black sand. Now, I like to use a snuffer bottle when it comes to my black sand, because a lot of the time, if you do miss gold, well, not all the time, but if you do miss sometimes, if you miss a speck of gold here and there, it will show up when you're doing this, and then you can just not snuff it up. Alright, I'm going to shake it back down, add a little bit more water. I think that's a little bit too much. There we go. Shake it back down, give it a couple bangs, and back and forth again. Now you want to be a little bit aggressive with this. You don't want to let that gold dry, so you want to be kind of quick, but at the same time you want to be cautious. So just keep your eyes open. If you think that you're losing gold, Like this piece right here that's about to go down, I'm just going to push it back up with my finger. I'm going to push up this corner just for fun. And then I'm going to continue that process. As you guys can see, there's a piece of gold actually right here. There we go. I'm going to continue that. Now you guys can clean up that black sand in the bottom whenever you want. You can snuff it up after every 5 seconds if you guys want to, but I don't prefer to do it that way. I like to build it up. I can tell when I'm starting to get a little bit close to losing gold. Alright, now as you guys can see, there's specks of gold all along here. Hopefully you guys can see that. There you go. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to snuff up all this black sand. Now if you guys think that you see gold, you can always blow it. But obviously that was not gold that I thought I saw. Alright, and we snuffed up our black sand, and we're going to continue that process. As you guys can see, there's more and more gold showing up. This piece right there in the corner ended up going down. Push that up. I'm actually going to snuff up this black sand. Now as you guys can see, I kind of pushed the water a little bit violently there. I did not mean to do that. There we go. Push that gold back up there. I'm going to shake it back down and continue that process. I got a little bit too much water in there, but that's okay. If you guys put too much water in, this will happen. Alright, I'm going to stop there. At the same time, every time I stop, I'm keeping this gold in the water. I'm not taking the gold out of the water and leaving it like that. I don't want to give the gold any opportunity to dry while I'm doing this. Alright, I'm going to shake it back down and continue that process. So you guys can see I got less water in there, and now it's pushing it down a lot more. And that's what you want. As you guys can see, there are pieces that are coming down the pan on me, but that's okay. Hopefully you guys can see all those pieces that push down. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to snuff up all this black sand. And as you guys can see, I broke one of my rule of thumbs. I left the gold out of the water. So now I just need to check the surface, make sure there's nothing floating, and there's not, so I'm okay. Alright, keep on going. And continue that process. As you guys can see, there's gold pushing down, so push it back up with your finger. Pretty much any gold from now on you can push up with your finger if you don't want it going down any further on you. You will see the gold before you lose it, like this tiny one. Now at this stage, I'm going to start snuffing up the black sand a little bit more frequently, just to get it out of my pan, to not worry about it, as we're getting right down to, we're sitting at about almost 50-50 right now, I'd think. So continue this process. It's going to get a lot more, it's going to get a little bit more difficult as you get down to the final bits of black sand. But this is a great method. This is the way that I enjoy it. Alright, I'm pushing it back down. Getting quite a bit of black sand this one. It's great. As you guys can see, the gold is coming down, but I'm still working it because the gold is staying put. If any more moves, I will be cleaning it up. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and snuff that up. I'm going to shake it down again into that corner. I'm going to continue that process. There are small pieces of gold all in there that are having a hard time getting up to that corner. So I'm going to help them. My finger, there we go. Continue that process. There's two really small pieces. I'm going to go ahead and put them back up to the top. And push all these small micro ones up there as well. And then I'm going to continue. Alright, I'm going to stop there. Show you guys. It's looking good. Go ahead, snuff up this black sand again and this garnet. There we go. Now at this stage, I'm going to do it again, shake it back down. Get it all in that corner. And repeat that process. Alright. Now, like I said, it's going to get more and more difficult to keep the gold up there, but that's okay. There are pieces that are pushing down on me, but that one's big enough that I see it, so I'm not worried about that. All right, this stage I'm going to put this piece of gold that ended up coming down on us back up there. Grab my Snuffy and give it a little huffy. There you go. Shake it back down. I'm going to actually scatter it a little bit, kind of like that. I'm going to scatter my gold, but I'm going to keep it in the half of my pan, and I'm going to continue that process. Gold is coming down on the pan on me. As you guys can see, there's some micro fine stuff in here. Micro fine stuff right there, all along on the right hand side, but that's okay. Now at this stage, guys, just push it back up. Use your finger, push all of the gold that you see back up into that corner. If you guys lost any gold in this black sand, just go ahead and push it up with the black sand. Don't be worried about being too picky, or you'll be here all day. All right, and continue this process. All right, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to snuff up all this black sand. Get rid of these bubbles so you guys can see. All right, right now you guys can see we still got quite a bit of black sand in there, but we got that beautiful gold. So as you guys can see, I scattered it out. I'm going to start doing that again. Now, at this point in time, it's going to get very, very difficult to keep the gold all the way up there, but just do the best you can. Use your finger. Just push it back up and continue. Alright, at this point in time, there's not much more black sand coming down, so I'm not going to waste my time. I'm actually going to put this back up. I'm going to go ahead and grab my snuffer bottle, and I'll snuff it back up like that. And get rid of some of those bubbles for you. There we go. Alright, now at this stage, guys, you guys can just tap it. As you guys can see, the black sand is getting left behind and the gold is going up. Tilt or move your pan so the gold is forward and continue that process. I'm going to push all this fine gold back up. Do this a couple more times. Grab your snuffer bottle. Snuff it back up. I'm going to move my gold on this side because I hate those little riffles right here at the bottom of the pan. It's not even a riffle, it's like a mark from the factory or something, and those little small pieces get, and the black sand, when they get put in there, it's really hard to get out. Alright, so at this stage, guys, just shake it back down, kind of scatter it out a bit, and start tapping your pan, and this will expose that black sand on the right hand side, or the left hand side. Push all the gold that's, of course, going to breach your spot of wherever you want to put it, and continue this process. As you guys can see, I am losing gold when I'm doing this, but I'm watching it. I know where it is. Alright, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to grab all these small pieces that ended up going down with me, put those back up. There you go. And continue this process. A couple pieces went up the pan. I'll put those back down. There we go. I'm going to go ahead, use my snuffer bottle. If you guys seen that, I actually saved a tiny piece of gold that's right there. It is tiny. But that's why I like using a snuffer bottle. Also, you guys can collect your black sands if you guys wish. If you guys like to collect like lots of it and then maybe run it through mercury or something, you guys are able to do that. Me personally, I just usually throw my black sands away after doing this method. If anything got past me after doing this and the creek, then it deserves it. Alright. But I'm pretty confident I get a lot of this gold. I'm pretty confident I don't lose much, if any. Alright, continue this process. Alright, and as you guys can see, we're getting down to mostly just gold, but we still got some pesky black sand in there. So as you guys can see, I scattered it out with that black sand. I'm going to go ahead, there's a piece of gold there and a piece of gold there. I'm just going to go ahead and use my finger. I'm just going to push it up 3/4 of the way. I'm not going to push it up all the way. I'm going to empty some of this. Making sure no gold got up on that water there while I did that. Okay. And we're going to continue that process. As you guys can see, we got most of the black sand, but I'm really going to be careful when I clean up this black sand because I think there are some micros in right there. Right there. So I'm going to go ahead and snuff this up, since I know this part doesn't have gold. There we go. Snuff it back up. This little piece of gold right there I'm saving. And I'm going to use my finger and I'm just going to move this gold around. Make sure that when you guys do this, your finger is wet. Alright, I'm going to push this gold up, but I'm not going to push it all the way up to the corner. I want to kind of flatten it out. Make sure this black sand has a chance to run away. Continue this. Alright, so at this stage I do got black sand there, but I also got a piece of gold there, there, and there. So push those back up. Move this. Some black sand right there I want to get settled with. Alright, I'm going to give my pan a few taparoos. And I'm going to continue that process. Alright, and I'm pretty confident we have gotten all the black sand. Well, near down all of it anyways. We got a couple pieces that are in that. Oh, no we don't. And there's the black sand right there. There is no gold in there. So get all the black sand if you guys can. Clean it all up. Alright, our gold is clean. We are happy with this. This is what we want to put in a vial. So what we're going to do now is you guys can either grab another snuffer bottle if you guys have a second one. Me, personally, I lost mine down the river. Yes, it did happen. Anyways, you can either empty the black sand that you guys had in your snuffer bottle and just use the same one, which is what I did. So I put my black sand in a container. I'll probably end up throwing them out next time I go to the river. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to snuff up all this gold. Make sure that this has no black sand in it. And snuff all your gold up. There, when you have all the gold in your snuffer bottle, that is what it's going to look like. Alright, so we got inside, we got our snuffer bottle that we had from the gold that we just ended up cleaning out. All this that's in there is going to be gold. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to grab something. Now this is very important. Grab something that you're only going to use for gold. Do not do this with a frying pan or anything else, because the small riffles that are in a frying pan, the really small gold will get in there and it won't leave. And then you'll probably have gold in your food for about a week. So I just recommend not doing that. Alright, so give this a couple shakes. And I'm going to put all this gold in there. Alright, make sure you got all of it. Double checking, things are looking great. Alright, as you guys can see, we got way too much water in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty as much of this as I can out without getting rid of any of that gold. Be careful at this stage, gold will float, especially when you're emptying it. So just be careful, dump it as slow as possible. Only get the amount that you're comfortable with out. Just get some of that water out of your. Alright, that's about as comfortable as I'm going to get with it. There was some gold, but I was banging it like this as it was coming out just to keep the the gold out. So as you guys can hear it, things are looking good. Turn on the stovaroo. Put it on high. All right, and put whatever it is on there. This only takes a second. You want to keep on moving it while this is happening. As you guys can see, some of that water is going away, which is what we want. Do not do it too fast, guys. Shake your gold once in a while. If you guys use too much jet dry, your gold will stick as well. It's kind of a pain. As you guys can see, the gold's still wet. As you guys can see, the gold is not freely moving. It's all jammed together and it's just looking gross. Continue. Bless me. Alright, as you can see, more of the gold's starting to move. Alright, and that gold is looking pretty dry to me. There we go. Alright, after you're done all that, time for the scale. Yes, we're going to weigh it up. We're going to see exactly what we got. I would like to know. I'm just thankful that I got all those cons cleaned up. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Alright, so we got our scale here. What we need to do is you need to find something to weigh your gold in. I would recommend something smooth. Now, I don't think I would recommend what I have, but this is what I've been using. It's just a plastic container. This works good, but there are probably better non-stick stuff out there because sometimes the really small gold does get stuck to this, and I gotta... And for this, I use a rubber scraper. When the really small stuff is stuck in here, I just use this and I, just move it all around and then I get the rest of it down. Sometimes gold does get stuck to this rubber scraper, but it's not very much. And also, if you run it underwater afterwards, you can see if you lost any. So I recommend these. These are pretty cool. And not a lot of gold gets stuck to it. All right, so we have our gold. We have our gold. We have our thing that we're going to weigh our gold in, and we have a scale. So what we need to do is put this on your scale, of course, and then you tear it out, make it 0. I usually try to get this in the corner the best I can, or I mean in the center the best I can. And I'm just going to shake around this gold a little bit, try to get it all together, and we're going to pour it in there. All right. 0.75, 1.9, 1.26. As you guys can see, there's still some really fine stuff in there. Just going to use this. I don't think that's going to make a difference anyways. All right, there we go. We got a 1.26 grams of gold there, which ain't too bad. I'm actually really liking that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put that in my vial. If you guys have a little, I'm not going to show that process. You guys pretty much just put this in paper or put it in a little funnel and then put it in whichever vial that you want to put it in. But as you guys can see, some of that gold is stuck up there, and that's what I'm talking about with a rubber scraper. There are better alternatives. But I'm happy with, man, I was only expecting about 1 gram of gold, so I went over by 25%, which obviously makes me happy. So I'm going to add this to my vial. And yeah, thanks for watching.